Hey, it's Brian here from Tracks in the Box again. Today I want to take a look at the newest offering from IK Multimedia. It's the latest evolution of their Amplitube amp modeling software, Amplitube 4. It's got a lot of cool new features in it, like you can put rack effects in pedal slots, you can put pedal effects in rack slots, you can put effects in between the amp and cab like an effects loop. There's a new acoustic simulator stomp box, and there's 5 new British-style amps. But the biggest new feature is the cab room, which looks like this. Now, there's a lot of cool things about this. It was great before. You know, if you've seen the Boogie video that I did recently for the Mesa Boogie Mark III, that was using Amplitube 3, and it sounded great. But Amplitube 4's cabs sound greater. They sound that much better. They've added a lot of cool new features and some more modeling, and it just really sounds excellent. Now you've got this 3D interface here, which you can actually use to drag around the microphones and stuff, in and out and all around, anywhere on the cab, just like a real cab. It now models the harmonic and dynamic interaction between the speakers. It also models the dynamic interaction between the amp and the speakers, the sag and sponginess and things like that. You can change the individual speakers, one or all of them. You have 29 speaker models to choose from that you can switch out as you wish, and 6 different rooms you can put your cab in for different ambient effects. And then to put it all together, you've got this mixer at the end. So let's take a look at all the separate parts here. In this first tab, you've got all your different cabs here. You can scroll through and pick one by the picture and name there, or you can go to this list here, which has them separated out into 6-inch speakers, 10-inch speakers, 1x12, 2x12, etc. bass, and then all the ones for different brands. Then the next tab is your speakers, and as you can see here, I've got this cab, and it's got the Brit Vintage 16B, which is a model of a Vintage 30. But you know, if I want to switch that to a greenback, I can do that. I can switch them all to greenbacks, or I can switch 2 to greenbacks and 2 to whatever Brit Darkness is. But let's put it back the way it was for now. You've got 29 different speaker models down here. Right now, they're all 12-inch guitar speakers, but I'm sure they're planning on adding different size guitar speakers, 10s and 6s and 15s, and I'm sure they'll be getting around to bass speakers too. The next tab is your microphones. It's pretty similar to the way it was in Amplitube 3. You've got this little 3D representation here that you can move the mic around exactly where you want it to be and in and out. And then you've got buttons to select each of your 2 different mics that you can put on each cab. And again, you've got a visual representation of each of the mics here that you can choose from, or you can use this drop-down list here. Next tab is the room, and you've got 6 different rooms now. You've actually got 4 different mics you can use for your room mics. You've got 6 different rooms, ranging from a big live room to venue, Studio A and Studio B, a booth, and a garage. And you get really different ambient effects from that. We'll take a look at those in a minute too. And then last tab is your mixer for your mic 1 and mic 2, your room mics. And then you also have a DI signal that you can add in here, which you'd probably use on bass or something like that. And then you've got a width control for your room mics. And you've got pans for each of your different mic sources. Right now, I've got one of the new Brit amps from Amplitube 4 selected. It's the Brit Silver, which is a model of the Marshall Silver Jubilee amp. And I've got the Brit 30 cab, which is also one of the new cabs. And let's see what we can do with it. I've got this little track I've got looped here that we'll use. It's just kind of a goofy classic rock sound thing. And as you can see, you can go in here and change your speakers. at something really different. These are the Jensen-style speakers, which you really shouldn't have in a Marshall cabinet at all. Oops. Then you've got Alnicos down here. All kinds of them. There's 29. You can get just about any tone you want out of them. Then, like I said here on your microphone tab, you can select your different microphones and adjust their position, and it models the phase interaction between two different microphones, just like real life. And then let's listen to some of the different rooms. Let me crank up the room here. They all sound really different, and they're all really useful. Crank up the width. I'm going to stick with Studio A for now. All right, now one of the things about amp modeling software is, and especially something like this where it accurately models a real-life cab and microphones in a room. A lot of guys who use modeling software don't really know how to mic a guitar amp. They might just play in their room most of the time, or if they're in a band, the sound guy takes care of that, and they've never really messed around with putting a mic on a cab. So it helps to know a little bit about how that interaction all works. Let me reset this to the way I had it. Okay. For instance, we'll start out with just one microphone, so you can see how that works. Basically, the closer to the center you are, the brighter it's going to be, and the closer to the edge, the darker it is. Similarly, the closer you are, the more bass response you get, on a guitar at least, because of the proximity effect from a microphone. But you also get a very focused area of the speaker, so you get a very focused kind of a sound. Whereas if you pull it back farther, you get more of the whole cone and a wider range, or a wider sound. You can get a lot of great sounds with just, this is a model of an SM57 microphone, which is pretty much the standard live and studio guitar mic. You can get a million sounds with just one of those. But you can get a lot of really cool sounds by adding in that second microphone. You get a fuller sound between the two of them because they each reproduce different parts of the cone. You got one on the edge here like this, and the other one we had closer to the cap in the center. But you get really interesting effects when you start messing around with the phase. When you move one microphone farther away from the speaker than the other one is, you get phase cancellation, and different frequencies will get canceled out more than others, and you get all kinds of interesting different sounds. And then varying the level of each of the microphones gives you even more sounds. Another cool trick you can do with two microphones is this one. Just put them both on SM57s. Put them both right in the middle. And equal volume. And what you're going to get is a really bright sound. But look what happens when you move one of them a little bit out of phase with the other one. You lose a lot of that really bright edge that you got on it, and then you can bring some of that back by lowering one of them. Let's take a look at the effects that you get from the room. Okay, so we've seen how you can get a bunch of different sounds with the microphones, and you can change out speakers and get tons of different tones that way, and you've got all these different rooms and the mixer and everything. Let's take a look at all of that in the context of a mix, so you can see all the different sounds that you can get out of this thing. For all these examples here, I'm using just the same speakers that came in this cabinet, so the speakers are the same in every example, the same two microphones in every example. I'm changing the rooms, and I'm moving the microphones around to different places and adjusting the mix. And you can see with just those variables, all the different tones you can get out of this that all sound great. Add in the 29 speakers that you can change, and I think there's 19 different microphones if you have all of them. And it's amazing what you can get from one cabinet in here. This is just a goofy little guitar, bass, and drums rock thing here, but it's enough to get the idea. Thanks for watching.